That's right.
That can kiss any woman right here, even that fat one.
We interrupt this program to bring you.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Strong Midcard Podcast. Frank with another solo session here. Hey, look, there's video this time. That's great, isn't it? Alright. Yeah, I actually charged my freaking camera this time, so I figured, hey, why not? Let's put some video out there. So, let's get into this week of professional wrestling, another wacky week. Week 3 of the supposed ratings war. I've really kind of given up on this whole ratings war thing, and I think both AEW and NXT have kind of given up on it too. It seems like both of them are kind of falling into their rhythm of what they're going to be. AEW seems to be really focusing on being just like a overall kind of great, just fun wrestling show, where NXT wants to show off the wrestling and kind of build stories off of that. Well, and then not only that, both shows went down in the ratings again. With AEW staying a little bit above 1 million and NXT taking a bigger hit actually. So kind of worried for them. And not worried that they're going to get canceled or more moved or anything. I'm more worried that Vince McMahon's going to get his grubby hands all over him, like roll up his sleeves and be like, "Oh, all right, pal, it's time for me to fix up this program," and then just completely ruin it like he ruined Raw and SmackDown. So I'm really hoping for NXT to kind of right in the ship and go back to what they were known for. I know it's a little bit harder now with 2 hours in front of you and Triple H kind of, you know what I mean, kind of being tugged at from both sides. I really hope they just get it and focus on what they have, which is a lot of talent with a lot of great wrestling. You have 2 hours now, some more spotlight matches, not as many as these 5-6 minute matches. Straight from the shows, though, I mean, really, as far as the NXT show goes, still nothing on the War Games. I think Velveteen Dream got hurt, and what's the freaking Dijakovic and Keith Lee are going to be in a triple threat match now with Roderick Strong for the North American title. So that seems to be, I guess that's a good way to go. Maybe if they take the title off of Roderick, which I doubt, out of him, he doesn't have to take the pin. So, but as far as like Adam Cole and the rest of the Undisputed Era for War Games, who knows what the hell's going on. As far as the women goes, it does feel like it's gonna be a triple threat match with Io Shirai, maybe. Actually, no. It might be a 4-way now that I think about it, because I forgot about Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and of course the champ Shayna Baszler. And then that way she doesn't have to actually get pinned to lose the title, and she probably should be getting ready to go up to the main roster anyway. So I mean, as far as NXT, they're all kind of, I don't know where they're going from there. I know Pete Dunne lost to Punishment. I know his name's not Punishment anymore, but I'm gonna keep calling him Punishment. Good match, and then he did the old ball shot at the end, which is kind of, but I mean, if he's a heel, that should be expected, so not really surprised about that. I don't know where they go from here. I know they're trying to build up a star, so let's see where they go with that, man. I'm just kind of, NXT, instead of just jumping all over them, I'm kind of waiting to see what they're going to do with, a month left till War Games, so let's see what happens. Alright, moving into the AEW side of things. Another solid show, another great fun show, chaotic start, with Christopher Daniels getting taken out and then having to be replaced by Scorpio Sky, and then that whole match, which was kind of a fun match, man. If you didn't know already, now you know. Scorpio Sky is the real deal. He's very entertaining. He's a great in-ring worker. Has already captured the crowd. Great personality, comedic timing, intensity in the ring. The dude's got it. Hopefully, if they do have a mid-card title, he's right at the top of that. And then if he's good enough and gets even more popular, I can see him becoming a champion. Why not? He's got the look, great looking guy with great skill. Why the hell not? That match, he came out looking like a star for sure. As far as Christopher Daniels, as far as I know, that was all kayfabe, and he's okay. But that's as far as I know. Who knows what might happen? Another news leak or something like that. But as far as right now, he seems to be okay. I think he got like a bump on the head, but for the most part, he's all right. Let's go into the other match of the night that kind of stirred up a lot of people. Marco Stunt replacing Luchasaurus with Jungle Boy. Sorry, Jungle Boy Jack, as Jim Ross likes to say, in that match with the Lucha Bros. I can see why people are so angry about it, But you also got to remember that AEW is not WWE, and it's not anything else that you're seeing. It's a brand new company where stuff like this is going to happen. Regardless, the match was still entertaining. Mark was stunned, whether you hate him or not. You know, people at first were kind of maybe, you know, a little bit didn't know how to take it, but after a while, you know, the offense that he was doing, it wasn't like he was, you know what I mean, like beating up anybody. He was pretty much being thrown into the Lucha Brothers. Sorry about that. Was a little bit under the weather this week. So I mean, honestly, what the big deal is. It was a fun match. It's like a PWG match, and that's kind of what they were bringing to AEW as far as the TNT show goes. At least I always thought that they're going to bring kind of an indie show feel to a wider audience. So I mean, Marco Stunt is definitely is the indiest of all indie wrestlers. He pretty much looks like a lot of the guys, just a little bit smaller. Didn't mind it. Did go a little long, but you know what I mean. I'm guessing the match was supposed to go that long, and then that way they didn't take away from everything else. I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. So, you know, Marco Stunt, it was just to fill in. I mean, Luchasaurus is going to be out with an injury for a while, so I mean, come on, that's not the end of the world. Let's get over that. All right, in the women's division, we had Riho versus Britt Baker. Very interesting match, man, because Britt Baker was, I mean, from the beginning, seemed like she was this division was for her, and she was gonna be the star. But I think they quickly realized that how green she was. I don't know how many matches she's had, and you know, who knows? It doesn't seem like very many. She still seems very green. And then Riho, on the other hand, who's only like 22, 23 years old and has been wrestling since she was 9, you know, looks like a pro. As far as those two go in that match, it was funny to see how the match started so slowly. And then kind of the crowd was just kind of being respectful, I guess, not booing or anything like that. And then as the match further went on, like all Riho matches lately, she just seems to kind of grab the crowd, man, and just kind of, you know, you get sucked into that whole the underdog story to it, and she does a great job of selling. I think that's a big one. And these Japanese girls, the Stardom and the Joshi and all those other federations, the girls are taught very much to sell, and like it's like you're in pain, like it's killing you. She does a great job of that, so it's easy for the people to gravitate towards her, to cheer her on, because when she turns up the fight, it is just, you know, she comes hard 100%. You can see it in her facial expression. She's good at that. So I think the reason why she's so popular and she's getting over was, number one, she's a pro. She does great in the ring. She got taught well. And number two, she plays that underdog role so well and so believable. So when she beats Nyla Rose and she beats Britt Baker and whoever else she's going to beat probably for the next few months, it's believable. She's doing a great job, and it's a smart crowd that she's playing to, and they love Japanese style wrestling. And she's the representative for that. I mean, you know, AEW doesn't have Asuka and they don't have Kairi Sane, but they have Riho and they have their own version of that. And she is not being mistreated. She's, after they, you know, go through all the talent, everybody saw right there. Riho is the one that we got right now. Let's see how she builds up the crowd and if she can get them behind her. And she totally did. And she's the star of that division. Britt Baker probably got another few, maybe some more indies to do before she gets up there. Definitely has the look, definitely has everything else going for her, but that just the timing in the ring is not really there yet. I think they made a good choice with going with Riho. I honestly thought it was going to be Hikaru Shida, but I think she still has some dates in Japan to do, and I think she's free and open now, so that's going to be interesting having her in there with Riho. So let's see what happens with that. But like I said, I think, you know, the Riho thing, it's pretty easy. I mean, once you watch her match and you see that it's very believable underdog story. So I'm glad to see that she's getting a lot of airtime. So good on them. Good. That's the bright spot of the women's division, and I really think they need to go out there and sign more people than just Brandy Rose's friends. You know what I mean? So get out there. There's a lot of girls out there. The free agency market is out there. You just got to hit up the indies and just look for some girls that have been. The Japanese girls can't save you all the time. You know what I mean? So you got to get out there and look for more girls that are seasoned, that are had so many matches under them and ready to go on TV and, you know, take that division to the next level, help it get to the next level. All right, let's talk about the road to Full Gear. You had a great tag team match on this week's edition of AEW with Hangman and Kenny Omega versus Pac and Moxley. Quickly, Moxley turning on Pac, showing that he is still the recluse that doesn't give a fuck and is the lone wolf, and costing Pac the match, and Pac getting pinned which is a big deal. So getting Hangman and Kenny Omega a much needed win while still getting protected, while still kind of also developing a story with them. I mean, this is the way you do it. You develop stories, you still protect the guys, and you still get a clean pinfall. You know, that's why people are loving this, because there's some clunkiness with the refereeing and, you know, other little crap like that. But as far as the big picture goes, the wins are there, you know. I mean, and most of the time I would say a majority of the time it's believable. So I thought that's great. I think Kenny just won the one of the AAA titles just a few hours ago, actually. So building up more momentum, and I think more people are ready to see Moxley versus Omega, and this could be a rivalry that lasts longer than just this pay-per-view, which looks like that's how they're building this. That's great. Fantastic. So we'll see, man, because Kenny needs to hurry up and get on that trajectory to be the guy in AEW. All right, get to the main event. Jericho versus Darby Allin. Darby Allin getting over like a star this week. Jericho doing his best to try to get him over, and I think he did a pretty damn good job doing heel stuff when clearly he doesn't need to, because he's much bigger than him, more experience. You know, on paper, easily Jericho could win, but he's doing all this heel shit to get himself over as a heel and to get Allin over as an underdog too. It was great. I thought it was fun. You know, the stuff with the skateboard, that's Jericho. You know, that's what he does, man. He gets himself over and he gets other people over. You know, Jack Hager showing up and doing that heel shit when he didn't need to do it, getting heat, and you know, Darby Allin looks like a star and gets off a lot of his offense, even with his hands tied behind his back, doing all the stuff he did from there, taking a beating. And as we all know from guys like Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat and Shawn Michaels of before, if you are resilient, you get over quickly. That's that kind of babyface. What's his name from the Rock and Roll Express? Getting your ass kicked through the whole match and then doing the comeback after that, showing heart, showing grit, showing resilience, will always get you over. So that great showing for Darby Allin. I'm really happy for him, and leaves you wanting more for next week. What are they going to do with Darby Allin now? Where's MJF? Where's, you know, a lot of the other people that are there? Sean Spears, where they're going to go with him, and Janela. A lot of cool stuff. Plus the dark shows have been really great. So I actually wish they would talk more about the dark shows during the match. So hopefully they pick up on that. The music is coming in a lot better though in the entrances. So you know, it's building blocks, man. They're getting better. Still 20 times more fun than anything WWE is putting out there. So all right, let's get and now speaking of WWE, I guess we can get into it really quickly. Bischoff fired. Surprise? Not at all. I think when they first got hired, I said it on this podcast that, like a lot of people have, many podcasts after that him and Heyman were pretty much hired to take the punches for Vince McMahon, because let's face it, the last 4 years, McMahon's kind of been getting slapped around. His name's getting kind of dragged through the mud, and you know, the WWE does kind of go a long way to protect Vince McMahon. Even though he's the one that's clearly in charge of everything, storylines, presentation, all that stuff. So I believe to get some of the heat off of him, you know, kind of, scapegoating these guys. Heyman gets to keep his job for now. Bischoff gone. And from all the reports you hear that he wasn't really involved that much, but it also sounds like they weren't really bringing him in that much. So that's kind of interesting to hear too. Pritchard, I guess, was writing a lot of the shows, and you know, lo and behold, look who gets the job after Bischoff's gone. Pritchard. I know Pritchard's been was Vince McMahon's right hand for a long time, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually, you know, if the ratings drop, which they have been since the premiere on Fox, if they're gonna do the same thing with Bruce Pritchard, and knowing that he's McMahon's one of his good friends and one of his right hands and one of his number one like butt kissers, or would they let him go too, the same way they did to Bischoff? Heyman, what about him? He's on board with Brock Lesnar. I'm sure Heyman's been fired so many times by that company. I'm sure if they took him off there, he wouldn't care, really. He's still getting paid regardless. So, but, you know, man, and then that just brings it into, you know, the problems that they have there. It's still the same stuff. You can put brand new paint job on the car. If you don't fix the engine, it's still going to run like shit. And you can paint it as many times as you want, many different colors as you want, put it on different networks and all that shit. And it's the quality is just, you know, the last couple of weeks, the whole drafting has been kind of terrible and embarrassing at some points. I actually liked the Cletus the Robot in the War Room, though. I thought that was pretty funny. But the rest of those War Room stuff was terrible. The draft, let's talk about that real quick. Most of the people stayed on the same brands that were already in. what's going on Raw. I know they have a lot of youth over there, so that's something to kind of, keep. If you have hope, it's for Raw, I would think. Seth Rollins is still kind of going off and being, a bratty dork online, and going off on Matt Riddle and just going off about other stuff, trying to defend that shitty end to the Hell in the Cell. Bray Wyatt, they fucking neutered the fuck out of that character, man. There's still ways to save that character and the whole Fiend thing. I really think you need to focus on him starting to do different things that he's already done, because the Firefly Funhouse, it's been burned down. Maybe that's an opportunity to start something else. Maybe, I'm pretty sure Bray has already thought of 1,000 things. He got the character over. Let him kind of take the wheel again and let him build up his own thing. Maybe he can do different stuff than just showing up in the dark when the lights go out. I mean, The Undertaker did that shit for fucking decades, and Mandible Claws and all that. It's like, I have no idea how they made this thing so stale already, but they did a damn good job of it. Like, if the objective was, this guy's getting too over, we don't like that because it wasn't our idea, let's kill it, let's chop the balls off of it as quickly as possible, you did a damn good job of it, because it's relegated to just almost laughable now, and it sucks because, poor Bray, man, he's done it twice now, getting himself over, reinventing himself, and then to have this happen. And you have Seth Rollins, who, I know he claims he's the best and all this other stuff, but, how many times have you main evented WrestleMania? Yeah, how much money are you bringing in? The ratings are still going down, even with you as champion, so, you ain't that much better. That being said, where do they go from there? It's on the SmackDown side, what was that? Like that, the big trade, and it was just Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross going to SmackDown. I don't know, for future draft picks or whatever. Everything's all over the place, man, and it's hard to get a grasp on it and take them seriously. Like, it's a new thing, it's the new beginning, and it's the same old shit every time. The Shorty G thing, what the fuck? They really were pushing that, huh? And they actually built to it. I feel bad for Chad Gable, man. What kind of crappy name is that? You know what I mean? He's so talented. There's other ways to build up an underdog. Like, why does it have to be Shorty G? That's just, like, they probably get a kick out of it, but you're really just stifling the guy. I hope his contract's coming up soon. He can go somewhere where he can, be appreciated a little bit more. That's just, I think that they just made him look like a complete fucking dork, and, the whole Baron Corbin thing. It's just, man. Just get those two away from each other. They wrestle each other way too much. That's a feud that nobody really cares about. After the whole King of the Ring thing, that should be ended. Also, what we got here? I'm checking my notes here. Oh, Crown Jewel. Speaking of Fiend and Seth, they're going at it again as Crown Jewel, and the match can't be stopped no matter what or something. So, murder, or amputations, all that stuff's illegal. What do they do? Seth has to keep the title, right? Fiend winning the title in Crown Jewel. It's just very anticlimactic and will piss people off even more. I'm sure that for the most part everybody will be happy, but you're really pushing that line with this one, man. The whole Crown Jewel thing to begin with, the Saudi Arabia shows are really a messy line. So, I mean, just taking that Saudi Arabia money, putting all these nothing shows that are huge and extravagant. With matches that really mean nothing. Hogan and Flair, Team Hogan, Team Flair, like, who gives a crap? No Undertaker this time, so, I mean, they're not going to let the guy embarrass himself that 2 times in a row, I guess. So, who knows what's going to happen to that, man. If Fiend wins, I wouldn't be surprised. If Seth wins, I definitely won't be surprised, but none of it is consequential to what's going on. So, if Fiend wins, I don't know where you go from there. You kind of have to reinvent him again, reinvent the Fiend, this time actually being even darker, if that's possible. So, I mean, hopefully they got some direction going in there. So, just SmackDown is just all over the place. Like I said, Kofi doesn't care about his title losses. Apparently, he's back throwing pancakes and doing all this stuff. WWF is just really kind of, I don't know, man. They just really gotten on my nerves. So, I haven't really been watching that much. I've just been keeping up with the news. I try to watch SmackDown a couple times just because I think, all right, it's supposed to be brand new. Let's see what it is. And both times I just had to kind of stop watching and then waited for the highlight films or listen to other podcasts talk about it, whatever I missed, and read articles and all that stuff, because it's all that. It's a lot more entertaining and less painful than actually watching it on TV. So, all right. I guess that brings us to the end of this week. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully it wasn't too brutal. And don't forget to subscribe and like. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And don't forget to Twitters and the Instagrams. And we'll catch you guys again next week with some more reaction videos and some more podcasts. Thank you guys for hanging in there. In case you haven't noticed, I was freaking insanely sick this week. So I was trying to get caught up with all the wrestling and stuff this week, even though I was really struggling with this sinus infection and the freaking chest cold that I had. But like I said, trying to get back into this and do this more, every weekly. Sorry. Thank you guys again, and I will talk to you later. Peace.
I couldn't find no woman. I found a lot of men that looked like women.